Okay, cool. Hello everyone, Flashfire here, and welcome to episode 1 of So You Want to Be a Gamer. This is targeted towards people who want to learn how to do things that are kind of considered basic, but they're really not. Things like downloading Steam, things like finding games on Steam that you want to play, and just generally learning about it. This one is going to be focused on Steam. So let's get right into it. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to open up your Google Chrome, your Firefox, your Safari. Please don't be using Internet Explorer. Internet Explorer is being phased out as it is, and it's not going to be very helpful for very much longer. So up in the address bar, you're going to type in Steam. You can just type Steam. Here it is, store.steampower.com. Welcome to Steam. As you can see, Norton thinks it's okay. So we're going to go into here. And this is Steam. You can look through all the stuff that you want through here, and you can actually buy games off of this no problem. I think that the easiest way, honestly, is to install Steam onto your computer. That way you don't have to keep going in to your web browser every time and just generally, having to go in and do extra steps. So, as you can see here, it has a button up here in the top that says Install Steam. That's what you're going to want to do. You're going to click Install Steam, and this one's probably not going to let me do it because I've already got Steam installed. However, you click Install Steam and you follow the directions on Install Steam. Steam is a very secure website. They are their whole point is that you can give games like any indie game that you've ever heard of or haven't heard of. And a lot of the big titles as well. This one, I think, personally, is one of the best ones. There are a couple other ones out there, such as Origin, which is EA Games specific. So things like Sims 4. And if you don't know these games, you can look them up. But we'll talk a little bit later about some of these games. And a couple other games from the company EA are going to be on Origin, which is what it's called. So this is Steam. This one is run by Valve, and this one is where you're going to get the most of them. So welcome to Steam. Install Steam. Let's see what it does here. Open up the exe down in the bottom. Yeah, we're going to let it install, and you follow these directions. They're very nice. They're very, very well set up, and Steam is not going to download anything bad onto your computer. You're not going to break your computer by downloading this. So go ahead and do that. And you can follow the directions, and what's going to come up is this. It's a little Steam login, so we're going to close out of that. Steam login, and the first thing you're going to do is create a new account. This one will let you log in, and it'll let you keep track of all of your games that you've bought using Steam. So you can log into anyone who has Steam downloaded or any computer that has internet. And you can download any of your games onto their computer, and you can play it as long as you're connected to Steam. I don't know about offline gaming, if you can play while actually having no internet. I don't think so. But say you didn't bring your computer, but there's a friend who has Steam downloaded, you can check up on your favorite addicting games and stuff like that. So you're going to create a new account. It only wants you to create one account. That's because a lot of the games that you can play on it there are games such as Dota 2, which is one of my favorites, that a lot of people can make multiple accounts, and you can do what's called pub stomping, which is you're actually better at the game than this account says it is. It's kind of mean. I'd recommend sticking with one anyway, because if you buy one on one account and one game on another account, they can't really communicate easily. So you'd have to repurchase any games on one account or the other. So you're going to have to hit next. You can agree to this. It's very standard. There's nothing in there about taking your firstborn or something like that. So you can agree the privacy policy as well. It wants you to read it all, and if you want to read it, go for it. It's going to be the same stuff that you normally hear, except it's going to have Valve Corporation on here because that's who runs Steam. It's run by Valve. So you agree, and you type in an account name. I don't know. So that's our account name. and we're gonna call it 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 1 2 3 4 5 6. And I'm not actually gonna do this because now I've told everyone blah 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 blah. And it'll rate your password here. Passwords do not match. Okay, so we're gonna type in something else here. Hang on, I got this. Oops. There. They so match. Whatever. Anyway. There we go. So it'll rate your password strength. That's just a thing. You have to have an email address, and I'm assuming that most of you do, especially if you're on YouTube. Normally people can get onto that. Let me know in the comments if that's something I need to do, and I can. Yahoo has a really good free email. I would actually recommend Google Mail, Gmail over that. But go ahead and you can type in your email address, and you continue on using this. I'm not going to type in an email address, just I don't have one ready for it. So the next thing that's going to happen is you come up here, and so you've made your account. You're going to get an email, probably going to have an activation code. I honestly don't remember on that. But make sure you go to follow the directions of the email, and you can come to this this screen right here, where you're going to type in your username and your password and log in. And so now you are logging into Steam, and Steam, think of Steam as a app store for video games. I'm actually going to go offline here so we don't get interrupted. And this is your app store for video games. So you can go to the store here, and you can look up anything you want. These are some new games on Steam right here. Recently updated ones, because there's a lot of games that are still in their alpha build, which means they are not fully developed and people are just trying out the games. Ark Survival is one of them. So they've been updated. You can browse your games through here. Featured items, games, software, hardware. You can buy a lot of different things, demos. And then for you popular among your friends, if you start connecting with other people, then you can do that. Your queue, meaning that anything that you've seen and you said, hey, that looks interesting, but I don't want to buy it right now, you can go ahead and click that, click it, add to your queue, and it'll keep track of which ones you wanted. And I recently found out, awesomely, that if one of the things in your wish list / queue goes on sale, it will send you an email and says, hey, it's on sale. That's one of the really cool things about this website, or this app, I guess, at this point, is that you can go and you can buy games that are just very, very new. And during the summer and the winter, they have massive sales. Most of the games that I've seen are up to 75% off. Some of them even like 90% off that you can buy the game. So you find whichever game you want and you click on it. So we're going to go to the free-to-play game just to have it. And if you have the game, like this one, I have Magic Duels in my library, it'll tell you if you already have it, so you're not actually going to buy it again. And then we're going to go look for, why not, we're going to download Time Clickers. I have no idea what it is. It actually looks kind of interesting. A clicker game with guns, there you go. This is all your information you're going to need. So to get around this area, your user reviews, if they're very positive, I mean, obviously it's a user review, so someone likes it for what it is. That's the way you're going to have to think about it. Think about it as, take everything with a grain of salt. If they hate it, then it's possible you're not going to like it, but you might like it. I use these, very positive is very, very good. That's their max that you can have. User-defined tags for this product, being free to play, meaning you don't have to pay anything for this one. Clicker, which is like you use your mouse to click and do all of the things that you need to do in the game. Casual, meaning that you're not going to be, the games are pretty short, and you know you're not going to be sitting there and trying to grind out all of your XP and stuff like that and trying to get up your levels and your gold and stuff like that. This is just for fun. Action, of course, being an action game, and indie meaning that some very, very small company made this and it's very good. Normally, indie games aren't all good, but some of them are. You can add it to your wish list. You can follow it if it's still being developed. You can get emails on when it's developed, or you can say, "Hey, I'm not interested, and this isn't something that interests me at all. So don't ever show me anything like this again." However you want to do it. There are some recommended by the people who made it. Recent updates about the game. This one's nice because it gives you your controls. Your controls right there. And your general ideas for it. System requirements, for the most part, most computers are going to be able to handle most of the games on here, especially anything that says indie, for the most part. There may be some that your computer can't, so if you know your RAM on your computer, or if you're using a Mac or Linux, it'll tell you what OS operating system you need and what amount of memory or RAM or hard drive. So that gives you the idea of that. This is some helpful reviews. So the reviews of a person who played it, and either they recommended it or they didn't. You can search by the people who didn't like it. You can search for positives. Keep in mind that a lot of people, there are some people that are just there to poke buttons, press buttons, and make people mad and stuff like that. Those are trolls. Just don't feed the trolls, is the saying. Don't give them attention. So then you're going to say, oh, sweet, let's play this game. So right here, and this window will pop up to install time clickers. Now, for mine, I'm going to skip ahead of this 5 minutes, but just leave the program right there unless you have a specific place you seriously want it. Things like the desktop, that's really easy to get around. You can do that in a separate window, which we will explain in a second here. Oh, there you go. There's the second window. Click your desktop shortcut and a menu shortcut, whatever you want to do. I personally have way too many games to do that. My whole desktop would be filled, and as it is, it's about half full, and that's kind of crazy. So you're going to wait for it to install, and so here it goes. So it says that it's in your Steam Downloads view. So you can leave Steam, and it will resume whenever you get back onto Steam. So we're going to hit Finish, and to find that, you come up here to Library, and you go down to Downloads. And as you see, it says Time Clickers right here, and it's currently downloading that. Is it done? Well, that was a fast game. I thought it said it would be 5 minutes. Anyway, it would be downloading right here. My computer already did it. Hooray me. So we have this game, and now we're going to go find our new game. So you go to Library, go to Games, and you go find... I forgot the name of it already. Clickers something or other, right? Where is it? Really? Where'd it go? Time Clickers. There it is. Okay. So you're going to go find Time Clickers. And you just hit play, and it'll open it up in a new window. I don't know if this will record. I hope it does. But this specific game will ask for a little bit of information. It tells you what input and graphics you want. That's specific to each game. That's not going to be every single game. But here's your library. So you have your time clickers right here. You can go ahead and play it. And just hit play and start pressing buttons. Honestly, you're not going to break anything. If you do happen to break something, you can delete the local content by right-clicking on the game, delete local content, and it'll re-download it at the original amount. So I did have one game that actually, some reason, didn't work, and I had to delete the local content on it, and it completely worked again. There's actually a couple bugs for the game, and so it was something that we needed to redo. But that's how you get into the library of your games. You can have videos. I downloaded this video and I still haven't watched it. Software from Steam. Most of it's games. You can go to your recent, like things that you've recently played, and it'll show you which ones you've played a lot or in what order. So today, this week, previously, that sort of thing. Things you have installed. I have a couple games that I don't have installed yet. And tools. Now the tools, they look pretty scary, and honestly, don't mess with this unless the game specifically asks you to do it or you find someone who specifically tells you to do it. Just don't mess with it. It's not important. So keep to your library. Yeah, so you can look around here. So the next section is going to be community, and in the community, it'll tell you the activity of all of the things that you've played. So anything you've played, anything that pretty much anything you've recently played in this case, it'll give you guides, or if something happens in the community, it'll tell you about it right here. This is not something I hang out on mostly. This is for a lot of people. This is for a lot of people. Just generally putting up their information. It's people who are looking to connect. If you're looking to connect, great. If you're not, whatever. One of the interesting ones that I personally like is Greenlight. If you go to community and go to Greenlight, and this is how you help pick games for to continue onto Steam. So a lot of indie developers will put in their demo or something like that onto this section, onto Greenlight, and the community says, hey, yeah, let's get that game. I want to buy that game, so yes. And you can vote on things like that. If that interests you, then great. If it doesn't, okay then. If you click your name over here, it'll come up to your activity, your friend's activity, and just what's generally happening with your friends. And you can add friends that you meet in the game, and each one of the games will have a different way of adding friends. So I can't really explain off the top of my head how to do that. But you can also add friends if you know the user or group you're looking for. Let's see. Who am I going to look for? Let's look for Ponyboy. And he's not there. That's okay. It's probably because I already have him as a friend. Anyway, if you know the person, great. You can contact them in any way, shape, or form through this, and you send them a friend request, and they will give you a friend request back, and you become friends. Hurrah! But most people are going to be viewing their games in the library. And from this section, you go ahead and open up whatever game you want. One of my favorites is going to be Dota 2 for sure, as you've seen on my channel. Another one that everyone seems to like, and I do too as well, is The Wolf Among Us. That one's also very fun, and I need to be playing more of that. It'll tell you how many hours you've played. You don't want to see my Dota one. When the last time you played it was, and just generally any friends that you have that also play the game, so that you can contact them and say, hey, do you want to play this together? Yeah, and I believe that's Steam. If you have any questions, please ask. This is all going to be an informative video. I think I covered most of it, so thank you all for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask, and as always, have a good one.